Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Galaxy and welcome to today's video. Now, in this one, I'm sure you can tell, we're going to be going over a flak build and more specifically a flak pet build, the first one I've done of those, and then even more specifically a flak radiation pet build. So, that's pretty much all I need to say. We're going to jump in and go over the gear. I almost forgot one super quick mention before we start. Just wanted to shout out a guy called Levi who has made some awesome tracks for me to start using in videos, including the one you are listening to in this video here. I'll have a card to his YouTube at the top of the screen now if you want to take a peek over there, and he's also going to be linked at the end of the video in the outro with the new audio that he also created, so you can check his channel out after the build as well. Anyways, just a quick little shout out there, and now back to the video. Now, I know the Butcher isn't radiation, but that's perfectly fine. I would recommend using at least one non-radiation weapon, just because you never know what rolls you're going to get, so you might just need a regular normal damage weapon, which is what I went with, and then it's also anointed for attack command, which is really good because we're using our pets quite a lot anyways. So yeah, I have a Butcher just for goodness and normal bullet damage and lifesteal. Next up, a really good radiation gun that is actually farmable. You do not have to get this as a world drop, so make sure to go get one of these. It is a pestilence. Ignore the anointed version of it. It's for fadeaway, so pretty much just pretend it's like a normal gun. It's a call to the vault weapon, and on overheat, it has like a 50% chance to radiate you, which is going to play super well with what we have down here, our elemental projector relic, which gives us a damage boost if we're afflicted with that element that we're using. We're going to get a 90% damage boost if this afflicts us with radiation. And then you might be like, oh, well, that's not really good because, you know, why would you want to hurt yourself? Wrong. We have the red suit. Now, the red suit is really bad capacity, gonna be honest. It's pretty bad. But the recharge delay is really low, and the recharge rate is pretty good, so it does make up for that just a wee bit. And the important part is that it grants us complete immunity to radiation damage. And again, the red suit is farmable out at the same exact spot that you get the pestilence, so you can go and farm for both of these at the same time. So just to recap, we're going to be using the pestilence to get ourselves irradiated, which gives us a 90% elemental damage boost, but doesn't hurt us because of the shield. Next up, we have the Shred of Fire. Again, ignore the anointed version. I ended up getting one for Rack Attack. I'm sure you guys have actually seen this in my Rack Attack build videos. Go check that out if you're interested in a Rack Attack build. But we have a Radiation Shred of Fire, so be sure to get some kind of flat-off assault rifle radiation damage. The flat-off assault rifles in this game are just really good, gonna be honest. Like, they're all very good. Get a radiation version of one of them and throw it on your build. And then obviously I have a radiation Lyuda, as you can see, and I don't need to explain why we're using that. Next up for the class mod, we're going to be using a Fang class mod, which makes our pet taunt all enemies when Gamma Burst is active, which is going to be super good for one of the skills we use called Hidden Machine. Let me show you. Yeah, Hidden Machine. When an enemy has no target or is attacking a different target, flak deals increased damage. So what's going to happen is we're going to pop our Gamma Burst, and then the pets are going to taunt all the enemies, which is going to take aggro off of us and then allow us to deal 30% more damage to them just from being aggroed onto the pet instead of me. And then lastly, I farmed for hours, multiple hours, and I didn't get any good radiation grenade whatsoever. So just use some kind of radiation grenade. Even try to get one that does like on impact, it just explosion, so you can use it to radiate yourself to proc the damage from the elemental projector. That's it for gear. If you were looking for any substitutions, I did have one I did want to recommend. Get yourself a Radiation Queen's Call. They are incredibly good. Alright, so we got through the gear pretty fast. Let's jump into the master skill tree. Obviously, we're going to be taking Gamma Burst at the top, and then, ooh, let me take my class mod off so you guys can see the skills without the, inflated numbers. Alright, we're going to be throwing 3 points into Persistence Hunter, which increases flak's gun damage and action skill duration, and then 2 points into Ferocity just to get down to the next tree, which has flak's pet steal more damage. Next up, throw 5 points into Frenzy, which when flak's pet deals damage, flak and their pet gain a stack of Frenzy. As you can see, you get 4% per stack, and you can have up to 10 stacks, meaning at max stacks, you get an extra 40% damage, which is obviously good. Don't gotta explain that one to you guys. The next, the Psycho Head on a Stick, just because we're trying to fill up some points to get on the next tree, and then for, you know, 1 point skill, can't be that bad. Next up, using Hive Mind, throw 3 points into that. When flak takes damage, a portion of all damage they take is shared to their pet instead. That just kind of helps with survival survivability instead. It lessens the load on us specifically and shares it with the pet. After that, you do need one more point to get down to the next set of skills, so I went ahead and threw that in Who Rescued Who. Whenever Flak's pet deals damage, Flak regenerates health for a few seconds. Whenever Flak deals damage to an enemy, their pet health is restored for a portion of the damage dealt. So it pretty much is just a little bit of health regeneration tossed on there. Next, we have Barbaric Yawp, which increases the power of pet bonuses by 200% to Flak. Very good, make sure to max that out. And then next up, throw 1 point into Mutated Defenses and 1 point into Shared Spirit. They're 1 point skills a piece, and they both have a lot of value. As you can see, look over on the left, 40% of max pet health generation over 6 seconds. It pretty much just helps keep your pet alive, which is really important for the build, getting the bonuses from your pet. And Shared Spirit, while Flak is at low health, a portion of all damage they take is shared to their pet instead. Again, that's just another spreading the damage out so we don't take as much and try to keep our survivability up. That helps a lot, especially with the low capacity of our red suit shield. So guys, feel free to choose whichever skag you would like. I chose the Iridian skag for its singularity ability. Whenever you use attack command, I felt that they really played super well with the Butcher's effect. The attack command gained 30% lifesteal. It's just kind of like grouping the enemies up for us to get as much life back as we possibly can, and it pairs really well with the hidden machine ability too. So like it aggroes them and pulls them closer to keep them aggroed for the effects of this. So that's why I chose the singularity skag. If you have your own preference, obviously feel free to choose that instead. And then for augments, we're definitely got to take the Gamma Burst, the healing rift, to where the rift stays and becomes a healing totem. Extremely good, especially compared with the green capstone we're going to be talking about in a second. That gives us 50% damage when we're at full health. And we're going to be taking endurance to keep the duration of the healing totem up. Every kill you can get 3 seconds added to the effects, and that can happen up to 5 times. So in total, we can extend the duration of our healing totem and Gamma Burst for 15 seconds, which is quite a lot of value. Then over here in the green tree, we're going to be maxing out Furious Attack to get those stacks up. We're going to be taking 5 points into Eager to Impress because we don't have access to head count, which I think is much better, but this is still a viable option since it's all we have to decrease our cooldown. Next up, 1 point into Lick the Wounds and 3 points into Turn, Tail, and Run. I think you guys are really familiar with the green tree, so I'm not going to read these exactly as much as I did the blue tree. Next up, take Hidden Machine, which I've already talked about 2 other times. You guys know what that does. And 3 points into the Fast and the Furious to get an extra 25% gun damage and 10% movement speed. Then to get down to the bottom power and side skill, we're going to have to throw 3 points into Overclock to increase our fire rate. Then that will unlock the power and side, so throw a point into there to get the extra 50% while at full health damage buff. Alright, now that we've got the skills out of the way, I am going to be jumping into the Trial of Discipline, like always, to show you guys exactly how this works out on some real enemies. Now, as soon as my frames return to me, oh, yeah, they're dead. They're dead. Oh, that's freaking... The ghosts really throw me off with their markers on the map. He's dead. Alright, let's just shoot and over... Okay, we're radiated. Pull out the Shred of Fire. Bam. 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 See what I mean? This is nuts. Bam. And there were the rolls on that. We actually had negative elemental damage, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and give it a save and quit and load back in and get another roll to show you guys how this works with some different modifiers on. Okay, we're going to be giving it another try here over in the Trial of Discipline, and here's the rolls this time around. Let's go. Get that Gamma Burst going. Try to get my thing to overheat while killing some little dudes. Killing him too fast. We won't overheat. Okay, here we go. A heavyweight. I could probably overheat this on him. Alright, well I guess I'm gonna have to overheat this thing on purpose. down here. Let me just shoot it until I can get overheated. Okay, you got me. Shredder fire. Dash commando. Dead. Dead. Well, alright everybody, I do hope you enjoyed the build. I think it's really good. It's definitely a change up of pace and a really fun thing to just try out, even if you're not looking to switch mains from any of the other trees or builds. Lastly, one more thank you to Levi for doing up the music real nice, and you're probably going to hear some of his new stuff in the outro as well, so make sure to go check his channel out. It will be linked at the end of the video. You guys will see his little thing. All you gotta do is click on it and you can go check that out, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.